The practice of happiness. To be happy, to me, is to suffer less. If we were not capable of transforming the pain within ourselves, happiness would not be possible. Many people look for happiness outside themselves, but true happiness must come from inside of us. Our culture tells us that happiness comes from having a lot of money, a lot of power, and a high position in society. If you observe carefully, you will see that many rich and famous people are not happy. Many of them commit suicide. The Buddha and the monks and nuns of his time did not own anything except their 3 robes and 1 barrel. But they were very happy because they had something extremely precious, freedom. According to the Buddha teachings, the most basic condition for happiness is freedom. Here we do not mean political freedom, but freedom from mental formations of anger, despair, jealousy, and delusion. These mental formations are described by the Buddha as poison. As long as these poisons are still in our heart, happiness cannot possible. In order to be free from anger, we have to practice. Whether we are Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, or Judaist, we cannot ask Buddha, just God, or Mohammed to take anger out of our hearts first. There are concrete instructions on how to transform this craving, anger, and confusion within us. If we follow these instructions and learn to take good care of our suffering, we can help others to do the same. Making a change for the better. Suppose there is a family in which the father and son are angry with each other. They are not capable of communicating anymore. The father suffers a lot, and also the son. They don't want to remain stuck in their anger, but they don't know how to overcome it. A good teaching is the kind of teaching that you can apply directly to your life, so that you can transform your suffering. When you are angry, you suffer as though you are being burned in the fire of hell. When you feel great despair or jealousy, you are in hell. You have to go to a friend who practices and ask how to practice in order to transform the anger, the despair in you. Compassionate listening relieves suffering. When a person speaks is full of anger, it is because he or she suffers deeply. Because he has so much suffering, he becomes full of bitterness. He is always ready to complain and blame others for his problem. This is why you find it very unpleasant to listen to him and try to avoid him. To understand and transform anger, we must learn the practice of compassionate listening and using loving speech. There is a bodhisattva, a great being or awakening person, who is capable of listening very deeply with a lot of compassion. She is called Kuan Yin or Avalokitesvara, the Bodhisattva of great compassion, Bồ Tát Quan Thế Âm. We all must learn the practice of deep listening like this Bodhisattva. Then we can offer every concrete guidance to those who come seeking for help in order to restore communication. Listening with compassion can help the other person to suffer less. Yet, even if you have the best intention, you cannot listen deeply unless you change yourself. It's the art of compassionate listening. If you can sit down quietly and listen compassionately to that person for 1 hour, you can relieve a lot of suffering. Listen with only one purpose, to allow the other person to express himself and find relief from his suffering. Keep compassion alive during the whole time of listening. You have to be very concentrated while you listen. You have to focus on the practice of listening with all your attention, your whole being, your eye, ears, body, and your mind. If you just pretend to listen and you do not listen with 100% of yourself, the other person will know it and will not find relief from his suffering. If you know how to practice mindful breathing and can stay focused on the desire to helping him find relief, then you will be able to sustain your compassion while listening. Compassionate listening is a very deep practice. You listen not only to judge or to blame. You listen just because you want to ask the other person to suffer less. The other person might be our father, our son, our daughter, or partner. Learning to listen to the other person can really help her to transform her anger and suffering. A bomb ready to explode. I know a Catholic woman who lives in North America. She suffered very much because she and her husband had a very different relationship. They were very well-educated family. They both had doctorate degrees. Yes, the husband suffered so much. He was at war with his wife and all of his children. He could not talk to his wife or to his children. Everyone in the family tried to avoid him because he was like a bomb ready to explode. His anger was enormous. He believed that his wife and his children despised him, and because no one wanted to come near him. In fact, his wife did not despise him. His children did not despise him. They were afraid of him. To be close to him was dangerous because he could explode at any time. One day, his wife wanted to kill herself because she could not bear it any longer. She felt she was not able to continue living under these circumstances. But before she committed suicide, she called her friend, who was a Buddhist practitioner, to let him know what he was planning to do. The Buddhist friends had invited her several times to practice meditation in order to suffer less, but she had always refused. She explained that, as a Catholic, she could not practice or follow Buddhist teachings. That afternoon, when the Buddhist woman learned that her friend was going to kill herself, she said over the telephone, "You claim to be my friends, and now you are about to die. The only thing I ask for you to listen to the talk of my teacher, but you refuse. If you are really my friend, then please take a taxi and come to listen to the tape, and after that you can die." When the Catholic woman arrived, her friend let her sit alone in the living room and listen to Rama talk on restoring communication. During the hour or hour and a half that they listened to the drama talk, she went through a very deep transformation within herself. She found out many things, realized that she was partly responsible for her own suffering, and that she had also made her husband suffer a lot. She realized that she has not been able to help him at all. In fact, he had made his suffering heavier and heavier each day because she avoided him. She learned from the drama talks that in order to help the other person, she could be able to listen deeply with compassion. That was something she had not been able to do with the past 5 years. Diffusing the bomb. After listening to drama talk, the woman felt very inspired. She wanted to go home and practice deep listening in order to help her husband to understand. But her true Buddhist friend said, "No, my friends, you should not do it today because the compassionate listening is a very deep teaching. You have to train yourself for at least 1 or 2 weeks in order to be able to listen to a bodhisattva. So the woman invited her Catholic friends to attend a retreat in order to learn more. There were 450 people practicing in the retreat, eating, sleeping, and practicing together for 6 days. During that time, all birds practiced mindful breathing, aware of our breath in our breath in breath and breathe out breath to bring our body and mind together. We practice mindful walking, investing 100% of ourselves in each step. We practice mindful breathing, walking, and sitting in order to observe and embrace the suffering within us. Not only does the participant listen to drama talks, but all of us practice in the art of listening each other and of using loving speech. We try to listen deeply in order to understand the suffering of other person. The Catholic woman practiced very seriously and deeply, very deeply, because for her, this was a matter of life or death. When she returned home after the retreat, she was very calm and her heart was full of compassion. She really wanted to help her husband to remove the bomb within his heart. She moved very slowly and followed her breathing to keep calm and nourish her passion. She practiced walking mindfully and helped her husband notice that she was different. Finally, she came close and sat quietly next to him, something that she might never have done in the last 5 years. She would listen for a long time, maybe 10 minutes. She would listen for a long time, maybe 10 minutes. Then she gently put her hand on his and said, "My dear, I know you have suffered a lot during the last 5 years. I am very sorry. I know that I am greatly responsible for your suffering. Not only have I been unable to help you suffer less, but I have made the situation much worse. I have made many mistakes and I caused you a great deal of pain. I am extremely sorry. I would like you to give me a chance to begin anew. I want to make you happy, but I have not known how to do it, and that is why I have made the situation worse and worse every day. I don't want to continue like this anymore. So my darling, please help me. I need your help in order to understand you better, in order to live you better. Please tell me what is in your heart. I know you suffer a lot. I must know your suffering so that I will not do the wrong thing again and again as in the past. Without you, I cannot do it. I need you to help me so that I will not continue to hurt you. I want only to love you." When she spoke to him like this, she began to cry. She cried like a little boy. For a long time, his wife had been very sore. She always shouted at her speech, being full of anger, bitterness, blaming and judging. They had a long argued with other. She had not spoken him. Rồi hết giờ rồi, em đi mà khoa cờ lớp. Cả nhà mình đọc vui nha.